In this lesson, you'll use the ToString conversion method to convert any variable into a string, and use the cast method to force C# to recognize a variable as a certain type. To begin, open the Shining Stone sample file from your Sample Files folder. And open the code behind file of by.aspx. You've seen the ToString method used a few times already in this course. Almost every type of variable has a ToString method that allows you to change its data into string data. Add a new line at the end of the button submit order click event handler, and add the following code: string phone number text 2 equals phone number dot ToString. This code converts the integer data in the phone number variable into string data and stores it in the new phone number text 2 string variable. Next, you're going to see how to format a date using the ToString method. The ToString method behaves differently for different variable types. For some variable types, you can change how the resulting string is formatted by providing a format string as an argument. Arguments are the values that you enter in brackets when you call a method. You'll learn more about arguments in Lesson 6.6. Click in the Page Load Event Handler now, and add the following code: datetime today's date equals datetime.now string formatted date equals today's date dot ToString dd mmmyyy response dot write formatted date. This code creates a datetime variable called today's date containing today's date. The date is then converted into a string using the ToString method with an argument of dd mmmyyy. This is a format string which tells the ToString method to display a 2-digit day, a 3-letter month, and a 4-digit year. There are many different symbols that you can use in format strings, but some of the most common include D for day, M for month, Y for year, H for hour, M for minute, and S for second. You can learn more about date format strings from Microsoft's help files. Now view the page in your browser. The date appears in the format that you specified. Now close your browser, and you're going to use the final way of converting variables known as casting. Casting is usually used when the type of the variable is ambiguous. For example, when faced with a value such as 123.45, C# cannot determine whether the number represents a float, double, or decimal value. Remove all code from the Page Load Event Handler and add the code decimal number equals 100.75. The number 100.75 is underlined in red, and if you move your mouse cursor over it, you can see that it is not being recognized as a decimal value. In Lesson 5.5, you discovered one solution for this problem, when you suffixed the number with the letter m. Using a cast, however, you can make sure that the value is recognized as a decimal value even without the m suffix. Change the code to decimal number equals begin brackets decimal end brackets 100.75. Putting the type in brackets before a value casts it to that type. Note that you could also have done this by using the convert.toDecimal method. Now add the following code on the next line. Float number equals begin brackets float end brackets decimal number. Here you have used cast to convert the decimal value into a float value. There aren't convert and parse methods for all variable types, but cast works for every type. Now remove all code from both event handlers and close Visual Studio, saving your changes if prompted. You've now completed Lesson 5.9, Convert Variables using Cast and ToString.